for revenge. Notre Dame fumbled right out of the gate.
Obviously, the very first play of the game is, unacceptable. We have to make sure we protect the football.
And Louisville took advantage. But the Irish responded with guns blazing.
As soon as I seen him go upfield and I ran right under him, I'm like, all right, we're going to the crib. We practicing all week and we executed perfect.
Scoring 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, en route to victory.
Shoot, we didn't miss a beat. The guys came in and they balled out.
Today, after a week of rest, Notre Dame welcomes Stanford to the house that Rockne built.
These are important football games, and we need to win every one of them.
The Irish remember all too well.
We know what's at stake, and we know what's coming in here.
What happened the last time a struggling and unranked Stanford came to town.
We're Notre Dame, and we know we're going to get everybody's best, but everybody's going to get our best as well.
The Irish versus the Cardinal, the battle for the Legends Trophy.
Expect everything and be ready for everything.
This is ABC57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Make or break. Every game a must-win for the Irish if they want any chance of making the college football playoffs. A beautiful day here on the campus. A little chilly, a little windy. A blue-gray sky, though, here. And the Irish and the Cardinal getting ready to go head-to-head in their 38th meeting. It's a 3:30 kickoff inside Notre Dame Stadium. Welcome to ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Allison Hayes.
And I'm Vahid Sadrazadeh. A bit breezy, but there is one task at hand today, and that is beat Cardinals, chop down that tree. They really seem year in and year out, Allison, to give the Irish problems, especially, low-scoring games in that first half.
You have to imagine this is one of those games that Notre Dame absolutely should win on this schedule. But right now, we don't know what to expect from this Notre Dame team. We don't know what to expect from this offense. But I think they have an opportunity today to kind of get all phases of the game improved and get the job done.
Well, let's go right back to the Irish a couple weeks ago. Of course, coming off of a bye, the Irish wearing green against Louisville got off to a rough start against the 15th-ranked Louisville Cardinals, fumbling a kickoff return. The Cards capitalized with a touchdown. But the rest of the first quarter, it was all Notre Dame. The Irish scored 3 touchdowns. Quarterback Riley Leonard passing for 163 yards, 2 TDs. He also rushed for 52 yards and a touchdown. The Irish defense continued to shine, making several key stops throughout the game. Xavier Watts showing his leadership. He got another interception, his second of the season, 9th of his career. The final score, Notre Dame 31, Louisville 14. Unfortunately, though, for the Irish, Allison, that injury bug continues to hamper them. Defensive end and sack leader Boubacar Traore left the game with a knee injury and looked to be in a lot of pain. And Coach Friedman confirmed on Monday he is indeed out for the season. And that injury list, as we just mentioned, continues to get longer.
Yeah, absolutely. The bye week could not have come at a better time. During the bye, 5 of the top 11 teams lost. What a weekend we had. The Irish are now ranked 11th in the Associated Press poll heading into today's game. But if there's one thing the Irish know, they can't get too confident, especially at home against Stanford.
Let's go to our Levon Whitaker now, who is live with us here on campus. Levon, that injury bug continues to, let this team down, but hey, they continue to keep winning.
Yeah, guys, well, despite the injury bug, I got a really crazy stat for you guys. Notre Dame is 2-1 against teams with red in their uniforms this season, and the better part of that stat is that all of those matchups have been here at home inside of Notre Dame Stadium. But I got a better one for you guys. Notre Dame is 3-0 when coming off of the bye week under head coach Marcus Freeman, but today's matchup against Stanford happens to have just a little bit more on the line.
Bye weeks are essential in football.
I got to get my body right. Definitely be feeling today's game tomorrow.
Recovery is important, not just physically, but mentally.
Our focus for the bye week was, number one, we had to improve. We have to improve as a team. The second thing I want to do is make sure we prepare for our upcoming opponents.
When coming out of the bye weeks, Notre Dame is undefeated in the Freeman era, averaging a win margin of 32 points against their opponents. So what's the secret to success?
There is no magic formula, but I think every bye week is different. right? Where it occurs in your season, what injuries you have going on, your upcoming opponent.
Right now, Notre Dame is just a little banged up, dealing with a handful of injuries. So the bye week came at the perfect time, giving them a chance to get some much-needed rest. Now, as far as their opponent,
They had us on the ropes early last year. The year before, they beat us. So we know what's at stake, and we know what's coming in here.
the last time Stanford came into Notre Dame Stadium on October 15th, 2022, they were the heavy underdog with a 1-4 record. But the Cardinal pulled off the 16-14 upset and returned to the West Coast with bragging rights and the Legends Trophy.
It's a rivalry game, and that's where our focus needs to be on.
Almost exactly 2 years later, the script is nearly identical. The two teams are meeting in their 6th game of the season, and at 2-3, Stanford is once again on the struggle bus.
Obviously, 2 years ago, they came in here and they beat us. And last year, in the second quarter, we were down. So we really have to prepare.
And that was the focus for the Irish during the bye week, preparation.
The turnovers, negative yardage plays on offense, defensively, continue to eliminate some of the big plays and stopping the run. And we really attacked a lot of those issues during the bye week.
In the end, will it be enough to change what took place 2 years ago?
Ultimately, you want to learn from your losses, you know what I'm saying? But we're a new team, and we just want to win every week, you know what I'm saying? We want to win every matchup we have, whether we lost to them a year ago, whether we beat them a year ago. We're Notre Dame, and we know we're going to get everybody's best, but everybody's going to get our best as well.
Well, guys, this is the first of 2 bye weeks for the Irish. The next one will be after the team plays Navy in the Meadowlands. Allison Vahid, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Levon. Now, you've been honestly following this team this week. What is that mindset with head coach Marcus Freeman, that offensive line banged up, the defensive line now banged up? Who do you think they're going to turn to here in the second half of the season to get pressure on that quarterback?
They got a plethora of guys, but the good thing is that they have time to get these guys ready because they have a second bye week this season. And the reason that this team has a second bye week, like majority of FBS teams, is because let's go back to last year. Notre Dame had the bye week after playing Navy week 0 in Dublin, Ireland. But this year, it's because of the NCAA bylaws that doesn't allow majority of FBS teams to start week 1 of their season prior to the Thursday before Labor Day, which means all games started August 31st and the regular season ends November 30th. That's 14 Saturdays to play 12 games. 14 minus 12 equals 2 bye weeks for the FBS teams, with the exception being Florida State and Georgia Tech because they both played each other overseas in Dublin, Ireland in week 0. Therefore, the Yellow Jackets and the Seminoles both have 3 bye weeks, guys. Pretty crazy deal.
So bye weeks. That is who we have to look to and thank for a healthy Irish team. Thanks so much, Levon.
All right, Levon. Well, Stanford is coming off back-to-back losses. First to Clemson. The Tigers are now ranked 10th. And then last week, a 31-7 loss at home to Virginia Tech. And it was really never close. Backup quarterback Justin Lamson threw for 107 passing yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Starter Ashton Daniels was out due to an ankle injury, but he is expected to play today against the Irish. Daniels threw for more than 2,200 yards and 11 touchdowns last season. He also added 292 yards rushing so far. So if he isn't on the field, it could be a long day for Stanford against this Notre Dame defense. And, of course, the Cardinal, they joined the Atlantic Coast Conference this season, leaving the Pac-12.
That is just so bizarre to me, and I'm still getting used to it as they're traveling all the way across the country to not only play football, but to play some hoops.
That's right.
Slam dunk. Right now, the Irish men's basketball team has the top recruiting class in the nation, and this season hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, that's right. Up next, head coach Micah Shrewsbury joins us live. Can't wait to talk to him, but first, here's a sneak peek at what's coming up throughout the show.
Just at the end of the play, absolutely no reason to do that.
Some called it disgusting and inexcusable. Others felt Jordan Clark was justified.
Came across my team 15. Looking back on it, I wish I had handled it a different way.
We break down the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and how Coach Freeman used it as an opportunity. Make a wish. He wanted nothing more than the full Notre Dame football experience. And boy, did the Irish deliver. Plus,
all these guys were my best friends through college, and to create something together, that's what we all dreamed of.
A group of former Notre Dame linemen returned to South Bend to build a golden legacy.
Everything about it called us back.
100 years of Notre Dame quarterbacks, a special honor for College Football Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion Joe Theismann. He joined us live on the ABC57 Kickoff set. And from one Irish legend to another, the one and only Mike Golick is back to talk some football and have a little fun.
There we go. Well, hard to believe a basketball season is just around the corner here in South Bend. That was the team celebrating last season, the overtime win at Georgetown. We welcome now Notre Dame men's basketball coach Micah Shrewsbury.
Thank you, guys.
I'd love to see some more dance moves this season.
I'm hoping to provide a lot more dance moves this season for the Irish.
I love that because you're so mild-mannered when we see you around, but then you can let loose a little bit.
You know what? I'd love to have fun with our guys, and we put in so much hard work that's our way of celebrating together.
Well, you got something to celebrate right about now, too. That recruiting class, Notre Dame has the #1 recruiting class in the nation right now for 2025. In the span of about a week, you landed 3 4-star recruits and 1 5-star recruit, the biggest recruit the Irish have landed in the modern era. Now, I know because of NCAA rules, you really can't talk specifically about the individual players, but you can talk about this class and just what goes into getting guys like that to come to Notre Dame.
Well, one, it was a great collective effort from our staff. Everybody on staff put in a lot of time, a lot of hours to build relationships with these guys. And they're all going to be great fits for Notre Dame. They're all going to be great representatives of Notre Dame, but they're really good basketball players as well. And when you're able to add guys like this and then put them behind another class that we brought in that are freshmen this year and the class ahead of them, that's how you really grow your program.
Yeah, and speaking of that big recruiting week, I mean, you were out on social media, getting the energy out there. How much does social media play now in having a little fun on social media play into recruiting some of these guys and getting out there, in front of the country and showing the program for what it is?
You may only get these kids here once, maybe twice, and you're talking to them on the phone, you're FaceTiming them, everything else, but that allows you to show your personality a little bit. And, I'm Coach Shrews when I'm on the court and in practice and at games, but I'm actually a real life human being as well.
Well, when you first got here, let's face it, the cupboard was pretty bare. You were literally pulling walk-ons onto the court just to fill those roster spots. But the Irish, you finished 13-20 on the season, but we saw improvement throughout the season. Kind of take us through that journey of getting here and then the direction you feel like the program is now heading.
Yeah, I thought our guys really bought into what we were doing and really came together, right? Especially, after January. Even when we had some losses there in February, we were still playing the game the right way. We were improving every single day, and that's what we want to do. We want to be a team of daily improvement. And those guys really built off that, and then they started getting confidence. And once you give young guys confidence, once you give a team confidence, you can really start to accomplish anything.
Well, you have so many good, talented young players on this roster. And, of course, fans have loved watching Penn Kingsman Marcus Burton go from Indiana Mr. Basketball to ACC Freshman of the Year. We just saw him walking out of the joist not too long ago as well this morning. What's the ceiling for him heading into his sophomore campaign, and what can he bring to this team? Where can you go with him?
For a young guy to have a season like he had, and he did it all as a point guard, which is hard to do in college, especially a freshman point guard. And then he did it with a huge target on his back. And then when the season ended, he got back in the gym and got to work. And he's improved his game. He's improved his decision-making. I think we've added really good pieces around him. I think he can keep getting better and better. And, maybe the numbers look different. Maybe they're the same. I don't know what that'll be for him. But his game has gotten better. He's improved as a leader. He's going to keep rising and rising and having great years for us. He could leave here as, one of the greatest Notre Dame players in history.
I love that. Yeah. And, one of the guys that kicked off recruiting for you, 4-star guard, Sir Mohammed, he's a freshman now. We get to see him. What are you expecting from him this season?
You know what, he was battled some injuries this summer, but now he's back and he's getting his feet under him. He's starting to get into great shape. His decision-making, especially early on, will be something that will stand out. Like, he's one of the best passers that I've ever coached, and he does that with, really good size as a 6'6" guard. So, he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife that can do a little bit of everything, and I think he's going to make everybody on our team better.
We've had the opportunity, the Irish opening up the season with a charity exhibition against Purdue Fort Wayne on October 30th, which is, literally right around the corner. That's going to be in Fort Wayne. Then you open the season at home with another exhibition against Stonehill on November 6th. So we're excited to kind of see this program get started. But, to kind of backtrack just a little bit, you were talking about Marcus Burton. You said, how amazing he's been. I know we talked last season, and Purdue head coach Matt Painter was someone that you really, learned so much from. And you said it was his recruiting, and it was guys that not necessarily, they had to fit the program. It wasn't just the best kind of player. Well, you didn't recruit Marcus, but he stayed here when he probably could have jumped ship. What was that conversation like with him, and how do you feel like he came to the decision to stay at Notre Dame?
I think he appreciates his teammates. I think he appreciates kind of the development. He spent a lot of time in the gym with Trey Whitted, Grady Eifert, putting time in and getting better. But I think he really loves representing the 574, and that's huge for him, and that's a big thing for him. And when he gets out there on a daily basis, when he gets out there in the games and, the crowd is behind him a little bit extra, right, because, he's a hometown kid, like, that means something. And to be able to be one of the faces of this program and to be able to put this program back on the map in a big way, I think that means a lot to him.
I love that. I know local fans love to hear that, too. And, Coach, we got to let you go because you got a practice to get to.
Yeah, we got to get to practice. We got about 2 weeks until we're starting to play games here, so we got to get back to work.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Notre Dame basketball is in perfect hands over the next decade and longer with you at the helm. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Coach Shrews joining us here on ABC57 Kickoff. It is a good fall day, a little breezy. We're going to have a check of that game day forecast coming up in next. Plus, spit. We break down the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that had the college football world buzz coming up next. Well, you are taking a live look at the campus of Notre Dame, high atop the Golden Dome. The 11th ranked Irish getting ready to take on Stanford. Notre Dame, a 3-touchdown favorite today, but Irish fans know all too well you can't count the Cardinal out. Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. It is a breezy fall morning for some football.
Yeah, we weren't sure how to dress for today because it's going to maybe hit 70 later. Oh, it's going to be sunny. Oh, it's now cloudy. Oh, it's now breezy and windy, and it's very chilly, but it's a great day for football. Like, you can see the sun starting to peek through right now. It's going to warm up and be game time.
What can we expect for the game time temp? Are the Kickers going to have some problems today? Let's check in with meteorologist Dave Caulfield live at the tailgate lots. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, the weather started off a little bit rough this morning, Vahid and Allison, and that wind had a little bit of bark, a little bit of bite to it, but basically we're looking at much better weather as we get closer to game time. I'm joined by Odie and Dina here, and they're helping me with this forecast as well, because you need all the help you can get when it comes to a South Bend fall forecast. So let's take a look at it as we head into the rest of the tailgating hours. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. The wind has already gotten a little bit better here in the lots. Closer to the set, there might be some funneling of that breeze, so it might still feel a little bit chilly there. But really over the next couple of hours, as that sun comes out, that front has passed us, the weather should improve. And I believe that it will stay rain-free. I know 2 weeks ago it was rain-free all the way up until kickoff, and then that quick shower came through about 20 minutes ago until that ball was snapped. But this time around, looks like the rain stays just to our east and north, so we should be dry for the contest between the Cardinal and the Irish, of course. And Dina is already laying down here on the job. I can't blame her. It's tough to be a pup forecaster at this point. Maybe me and Odie will consult a little bit more throughout the show. But live from the tailgate lots, meteorologist Dave Caulfield with ABC 57 News.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 1.
Jordan Clark getting an earful from his head coach.
Well, that is the play that had the Irish faithful and social media buzzing the past 2 weeks. Safety Jordan Clark headbutted Louisville receiver Chris Bell, and the Irish were penalized 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct.
And at the time, it looked like Clark was taking a cheap shot, but he claims Bell spit on him, and after the game, he posted on X saying, quote, "If you were brought up to let someone spit in your face and not do anything, I get it. Not me, though. Be easy." We had a chance to ask Jordan and head coach Marcus Freeman about the penalty this week. Here's what they had to say.
Obviously, you never want to let anybody disrespect you, but ultimately we want to win football games. I can't cost my team 15. Looking back on it, I wish I had handled it a different way. I think that we just have to understand that we play a physical and violent game, and that, there's a time and place for it, and that's between the whistles.
You got to put team glory in front of yourself. And Jordan Clark will be the first one to tell you, and it's tough. Sometimes people test your manhood, but you still have to be able to put team before me. And I know we've had long conversations. He regrets the penalty. He regrets his response. Nobody's worth 15 yards. And he had just a selfish moment. He knows that, but love him, and he owned it.
Well, Clark told us that both he and Coach Freeman alerted an official after Bell initially lashed out. And, this is probably not popular opinion, but I have to admit, I like to see some of these Notre Dame players being tough. I know people are going to probably hate on me for saying that, and I don't think he should do something that costs his team, but having a chip on your shoulder, talking a little bit of smack if you can get away with it, and just having a presence out there on the field that you're not going to get pushed around on your own field, I don't have a problem with that.
I love that opinion, to be honest with you. 3 times this season we've seen that from these Irish players. We'll get into that at 11:30 and how Marcus Freeman used it as a teaching moment. But Allison, I love that because guess what? They're taking on the personality of their head coach. And for a program that needs a little bit of fire, this is the exact juice you want going into, hopefully, a deep run in the playoffs. Again, we'll have that coming up during Freeman's Focus at 11:30.
Well, that's right. Well, trumpets at the Dome. Up next, we give you a front row seat to one of Notre Dame's most popular tailgate traditions.
We have the section leader, granddaughter, Hannah Weiss.
My first time at Trumpets Under the Dome, I didn't expect the whole band. It was amazing. Everyone loved it. Everyone followed them on their way out to their practice to get pumped up for tomorrow. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Oh, man, every time I hear that, it just gets me fired up. Thanks to our Jenna Stafsinski for putting that together for us. You can check out Trumpets at the Dome before every Notre Dame home game. They play in front of the main building 2 hours before kickoff, and on Fridays before home games just after 4 o'clock.
Awesome. Want to see that live sometime.
Yeah.
Another tough blow for the Notre Dame defense. We've got a breakdown of the latest Irish injury report and how it could affect today's game against Stanford next.
A battle of legends. We're just a few hours away from kickoff between Notre Dame and Stanford. The Irish have won 19 straight home games against the ACC going back to 2016. But Stanford has been somewhat of an Achilles heel. The Irish losing 2 of the last 3 at home to the Cardinal. I don't know about that. And that wind, you can see it's picking up, and it is chilly. My hands, I can't feel my fingertips right now.
It feels like a early winter, late fall day here. The nose is running,
Yes.
hands are chilly. Oh, man, it's a great day for football. Welcome back to ABC57 Kickoff. I'm Vahid Sadarzadeh.
And I'm Allison Hayes.
And it is a windy day, but the biggest news of the day is that Notre Dame injury report on the men. Bad news for the Irish. Defensive end Boubacar Traore will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL he suffered against Louisville. Despite only starting 2 games, Boubacar led the Irish in sacks. Safety Tate Johnson will not play today. He's still out with a foot injury.
That's right. And tight end Cooper Flanagan, defensive tackle Gabe Rubio, and right guard Billy Schroth are all questionable for today. Flanagan and Schroth both hurt their ankles early in the season, while Rubio broke his foot during fall camp.
Well, the good news here today is that defensive end Josh Burnham, cornerback Christian Gray, and wide receiver Jordan Faison are all expected to take the field today against Stanford. The Irish have been getting bit by that injury bug, as we talked about all season long, especially the big guys up front on both offense and defense.
That's right. Our Levon Whitaker now joining us again. Had the chance to talk with Irish coaches and players this week about the ever-changing depth chart and the impact it's having on the team.
Yeah, Allison and Vahid, Notre Dame has been subbing players in and moving guys around because of the amount of injuries they suffered throughout this season, whether it's on the O-line, D-line, or in the secondary. But regardless, the Irish have been ready because of one simple mentality described by 3 words: next man up.
There's 2 guarantees in life: death and taxes. But in football, there's 3 guarantees: wins, losses, and injuries.
This is just a part of the game, and injuries happen.
Each week, head coach Marcus Freeman starts his Monday press conference by listing the players who are hurt and the severity of their injury.
A couple injury updates. Boubacar Traore will be out for the year with a torn left ACL. Questionable for the upcoming game is Cooper Flanagan with a foot.
And sometimes the list gets pretty long.
Billy Schroth with his foot is still questionable for this game. Probable expected to play would be Jordan Faison on his ankle, Josh Burnham, and Christian Gray.
But it doesn't matter.
Honestly, it's really just next man up mentality. We always talk about that.
It's not easy to see a teammate go down, but defensive tackle Howard Cross stressed that the standard has been set.
I love them; they're my boys. But I mean, if you're like 3rd string or 4th string and something happens, you're up. No questions asked. Like, you're expected to uphold or be better than the person in front of you. That's how it works.
Regardless of age, year, and position.
At the end of the day, though, everybody's got to be able to play. It's next man up mentality.
It's just kind of just being ready to go. The same as people going down. People go down, the next guy has to be ready to go.
Well, right now, the Irish have 12 players out for the season due to injury, and you can add 7 more that are on their injury report for today's game. So as last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Xavier Wash just said, the next man up, you better be ready. Allison Vahid, back to you.
All right, well, the 11th ranked Notre Dame football team expected to get the win today, but as Irish fans know, when Stanford comes to town, all bets are off. This season in general, all bets are off. What the Cardinals are saying about today's matchup coming up, plus...
I was in the Army for 7 years. I got out August 2023.
How the Irish are teaming up with the South Bend Center for the Homeless to help local veterans in need.
I think it's a great rivalry. Obviously, two incredible institutions that I think have a lot in common and have a lot of respect for each other. I know they have a few injuries, but they're Notre Dame. They have depth, so they continue to plug in guys, whether they're young, they're still talented.
The 11th ranked Irish getting ready to host the Stanford Cardinal this afternoon inside the house that Rockne built, and this will be Coach Troy Taylor's first time at Notre Dame Stadium. But this rivalry goes back nearly 100 years to the 1925 Rose Bowl. The winner of today's game will take home, of course, the Legends Trophy, that beautiful crystal ball and bowl that sits on a wood case made out of California redwood. It is gorgeous. It was introduced in 1989.
Very cool. Now, Notre Dame and DirecTV are teaming up to help veterans at the South Bend Center for the Homeless. Irish kicker Eric Goins and linebacker Jerry Rulo got a chance to tour the center yesterday, meet with some of the 25 veterans who live there, and serve them breakfast. Eric played football at the Citadel and served 7 years in the U.S. Army before transferring to Notre Dame. And Jerry is currently in the ROTC program, following in the footsteps of his parents, who were both cadets at Notre Dame. Both tell me their own military experience has given them a greater appreciation for the veterans in our community.
My cadre, Master Sergeant, our Lieutenant Colonel, and captains, how they've been so committed to service, I think it's rubbed off on me and gave me such appreciation for, these men who have committed so many years of their lives to defending our country. And, really just something I'm looking forward to kind of joining and giving back towards, something I'm excited for.
Well, Jerry tells me after graduation, he plans to go to medical school, and then he will serve as a doctor for the Army as part of his ROTC responsibilities. DirecTV COO Mike Whitrock is also a Marine Corps veteran. This was a special event for him personally, and he presented the South Bend Center for the Homeless with a $2,500 donation.
Well, it's so good to see, Notre Dame football players who have served our country giving back to our local veterans who need the help and who are on that road back. And we're going to have a great story coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yes, we will. It was a neat experience to be there with them and see them getting to see firsthand what those veterans are going through at the Center for the Homeless. They do an amazing job there as well. Hey, he always dreamed of running out of the tunnel at Notre Dame Stadium. And today, the Irish are making that wish come true. Meet the diehard fan who's being given the royal treatment, coming up next. Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. We have some very special guests joining us right now. We have Ben. You are 15 years old, and your whole family here joining you. And we are here because you are part of Make-A-Wish. And you've been a lifelong Notre Dame fan. I know Dad is a lifelong Notre Dame fan as well. And you've got your friend here, Savannah, as well. Tell us a little bit about just being here at Notre Dame. What has this experience been like so far?
It's been nice. It's been a lot. They've been good to me. And I've done a lot for me, too. I mean, I played catch with Jaden Greathouse. He was nice. Everybody else was nice. That's all I can say.
Well, that's all you have to say, because that sounds like a pretty nice experience. And, Dad, I know a big part of him being a Notre Dame fan is because of you. You actually have roots right here in South Bend.
Yes, grew up in South Bend, born and raised, grew up on the St. Joe River. Grew up literally working in a concession stand here at Notre Dame as a kid. My dad, my mom, my brother all went here. It's part of who we are. Saturdays were always massive in my house, so it's really amazing. My wife teases, like, Chris, this is his Make-A-Wish, but it's kind of all of ours, so it's been awesome.
And I know, Ben, you haven't been able to get a chance to play football since being diagnosed with epilepsy. Mom and Dad, can you just explain, what he's gone through, his condition, and how tough of a fighter is he?
Oh, my gosh. He's the toughest. He loves playing sports. That was his favorite thing. And he was diagnosed with epilepsy around 9 years of age. And by the time he was 12, it just kind of took him out of the lineup. He never got a chance to play football. But he is one of the toughest kids around. And any chance he gets to be active and have a catch or a pickup game, he's always taking it.
Can you tell us a little bit about Savannah and how much that she's just helped?
She's amazing. Savannah is Ben's service dog. She's a medical alert dog, so she can smell Ben's seizures, and she alerts us to when he's likely to have one, and we know to take some extra care and make sure that he doesn't have a dangerous fall.
We call her our superhero with paws.
Yeah.
Because you could feel the entire stress level in our house kind of drop a little bit when we got her. So she's been amazing.
It's fascinating that she can actually sense that coming on 20 minutes in advance. It's just incredible. Ben, tell us a little bit about what you've been able to do so far as part of your Make-A-Wish experience.
What I've been able to do, the guys have given us passes to the pregame. They've done amazing things. They've given us stuff, lots of stuff, lots of it, like merch. What? Like merch?
The ball.
A ball, a signing ball, and then
your jersey
that I'm wearing now.
Official team jersey with his name on the back.
Wow.
And how about yesterday? You got to actually spend some quality time with Coach Freeman and with some of the players as well. Did you go to practice?
Yep. It's true, I did. But
who's your favorite? Who's your favorite on the Irish right now?
Xavier Watts.
Okay. Yeah.
And Dad,
Yes.
you can tell us a little bit about. Did you have a team dinner? Did you?
We did. We had an opportunity. We went to practice. Coach Freeman even snuck up on him, so he didn't even know. So that was a great moment. He got to run routes with Jaden Greathouse. Got to watch practice. We got to go to dinner. Jack Kaiser was amazing. As Joel said, it was kind of like just sitting down and eating dinner with an old family friend. He was amazing. All the players all wanted to come up and meet Ben. This has literally been one of the most amazing experiences we could have ever had. Every time we turn around, there's something new. People at the bookstore know him. They were asking me at the bookstore yesterday, how's Ben doing?
Aww.
Like everywhere we turn, it's just been mind-blowing. It's been an incredible experience.
Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about Make-A-Wish and the foundation and just how impactful it's been, not only to their lives, but to lives all over the country, and to make those special dreams come true?
Yeah, so at Make-A-Wish, we grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions. And so like Ben and like the Messicars, a lot of families, we do 16,000 wishes across the country each year. And just last year, we did 8 in St. Joe County. So really cool to see the Notre Dame community especially come together for Ben's wish. The Monogram Club, the athletics department, the students. There's a Notre Dame Make-A-Wish Club, and so over 300 of them are in the club, and they welcome the family to campus, and just to see all the fans even come up to Ben, and he's really been a part of the team and feel like a celebrity, really.
Absolutely.
Well, your day is just getting started. We've got some fun things planned for you as well, so don't go anywhere. One thing before we let you go, though, what are you most looking forward to today? I know you get to be on the field. Is there something you're kind of looking forward to?
Probably the pre-game, like workout or whatever they do during the pre-game.
You get to go out onto the field, maybe run out of the tunnel? We'll see. All right, well, stick around here because I said we've got some more in store for you. We're going to have a lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back to ABC57 Kickoff. We're joined now by another special guest. The legend himself, Joe Theismann. And when I was talking with Ben and his family setting all of this up, they said one of the things they were disappointed about was that they weren't able to go to the Rockney Awards last night to meet Joe Theismann. I'm like, well, have I got a surprise for you?
Once again, Allison pulls another rabbit out of a hat. Here I am. Here's the rabbit.
Here he is. And Joe, you've got a little something special.
I do, but before I say this, I was over at the bookstore yesterday doing the signing, and Ben's family was there, and so I'm standing. I went and bought something that I wanted to give. I'm going to give Ben here in a second, and they're standing over at the cash register saying, "Well, we're here with the Make-A-Wish Foundation." I'm going, I wonder if they're the same people that I'm going to see tomorrow. Well, in the meantime, I went and I figured, why not get you something a little special? So that's from me to you.
Wow.
Awesome.
Here, it's yours. There you go.
There you go. Well, as part of this, we would
one
like
from Marcus
to...
too? Did you get one from him too? Pretty much. Yeah, Coach
Joe
is
to maybe
unbelievable.
kind of give you some technique. He said that he really wanted to play football, but because of his condition, he's never been able to. And so we've got, a legend here to give you some pointers, maybe show you how to grip the ball. We have a game set up right here behind us, but you can show him the hand grip, maybe give him some pointers, and then give a few tosses over there.
What are you talking about? All of a sudden.
Hey, I like to boss everybody around.
All of a sudden, it's Allison, the coach. Okay, no.
That's right. I like this job.
What you do is basically the way I used to grip it is, first of all, you don't put your complete palm on the ball. You hold it with your fingers. So you sort of squeeze it with your fingers, and then you put the middle finger right above this lace and just grip it right there. So if you can do it with that, take it this way here. Be about like that. There you go.
We're all learning something here, too, not only Ben.
Now, this is really good because under here, it's called air. You want to leave a little bit of air. That allows you, when you throw the ball. Now, the big thing about throwing a football is when you snap your wrist, it goes down and out. When you throw a baseball, it goes down and in. And the last thing to leave the football is this finger. So when you throw the ball, as it releases, this is the one that directs everything. So if you point it here, it'll go there. If you point it here, it'll go there.
You want to give it a try, Ben? One-on-one against the legend, Joe Theismann. All right, let's go over here. Let's come back over here. Nobody trip over.
Savannah.
And we'll let Joe go first.
Oh yeah, sure.
Show us how it's done.
With my bad arm.
This is about 5 yards away.
You hold that for me.
All right. I'm going to give you this.
You ready?
Here we go.
You ready for this competition? There we go. All right.
There we go.
Oh!
Yes!
Oh! Here, give it one more.
There
Give
you
it
go.
another try.
Do
Give it
another.
another try. We got more. We got more.
Go ahead. You're up now. There you go. All right. Now aim to the right side. Just aim to the right side. A little bit. Hold it.
Yep.
Turn a little bit this way. There we go. Hey, here we go. Now we're getting
It's
ready.
awesome.
Now we're ready to let her fly.
There it is.
Oh!
We got one more.
We're
Do
getting
we have one
closer.
more?
We're getting
Hold
closer.
on. We got one more coming back. Here we go.
There we go.
Let's give it another couple
Just a
tries.
little higher. Here you go, Ben. Here you go, Ben.
Come on, Ben. Here we go.
There
You can
go.
do it,
a
buddy.
little bit higher.
Let's go.
You got it.
Oh, we're
so
honing
close.
in. This is
We're
the
so
one.
close.
That one's on the receiver.
Oh, we're even closer.
Great job. How fun is this?
You know what? And we'll be back at halftime. So,
he's going to give
there
it
we go.
another
All
try.
right, aim for his face. Aim for his face. Aim for the face.
Yes!
There it is.
You know what?
Way to
No
go.
better way than to get an introduction to throwing the football from the living legend himself, Joe Theismann. Thank you
It's
guys
great to be
so
with
much.
everybody.
We're going to
Thank
be
you.
right back with Joe here on ABC57 Kickoff. Stick around. We've got so much more to come your way. Nice.
Fight, 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 fight. Sacrifice, unselfish sacrifice. We're going to get them on a run. We're going to go, go, go. And we aren't going to stop until we go to that goal line. We are Notre Dame.
Get on the bus. Next stop, Notre Dame Stadium.
From the house that Rockney built to the dynasty of Air Parsegian, this is the home of Fighting Irish football.
The place where greatness is earned 1 yard at a time. the field that forged Notre Dame legends like Theismann, Montana, and Brown.
The land of never quit, never surrender. The legacy, the passion, the tradition. That is Notre Dame football.
ABC57 Kickoff is back.
Bigger and better
than ever.
Another season of Fighting Irish football. It all starts here.
This is our house. This is our team.
And this is ABC57 Kickoff.
You're watching ABC57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Well, fresh off a bye week, the Irish welcome old rival, the Stanford Cardinal, to Notre Dame Stadium. Will Notre Dame protect this house, or is it a repeat of 2022 in the cards? Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Allison Hayes alongside Vahid Sadrazadeh and the one and only Irish legend, Super Bowl champ, Joe Theismann. Joe, if you just missed it, I hope you didn't. We just had a really cool moment with Make-A-Wish, and you gave him pointers on how to throw the football, and he nailed it. Ben, he did it.
It's so great to see Ben being able to do the things he's able to do, and thank you so much to Make-A-Wish for making this happen. I mean, you know, people hear the term Make-A-Wish, but you really are fulfilling the dreams of not only the individuals but the families that work so hard to make sure they want to give so much to their children, and for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I thank you very much for what you do, and it's just a little way to say thank you. To see somebody, I love it when you take someone and you show them something, and then all of a sudden it doesn't quite go, and then they start to do it the next time, and it gets a little bit better and a little bit better, and then all of a sudden they accomplish something. It's like, that's what life's all about. I learned a lesson later in life I think is really important, is that the good Lord put us on this earth to serve others, not to be served. Sometimes you get a little highfalutin and feel pretty good. I mean, I've had a lot of great things happen in my life, but man, I found out that there's no greater satisfaction than to be able to give something to somebody, to give a gift of something, than get something, to be honest with you.
That's cool.
Always learning something from you, Joe. Whenever we're talking and catching up with you, and you're back in South Bend, and one of the reasons you're back, last night you were honored at the Newton Rockne Memorial Society, something that you've talked about that's so near and dear to your heart, and such an honor. Let's take a look at some of the award ceremony last night.
It's an incredibly humbling experience to be included in the names that have won this award. Of course, it has the name Newt Rockne attached to it, which even makes it even more special. You think of the 100 years of quarterbacks in the University of Notre Dame, and you know, if there's a place you want to call quarterback U, this is probably the one place that I think everybody would think of.
All of it is to recognize the traits that Coach Rockne exhibited in his amazing career, not just winning games in the field, but doing it with class and honor, and really promoting the name of Notre Dame. So this fall is that we're recognizing the centennial of the 1924 consensus national champions of Four Horsemen fame, and tonight we're honored to have family members of two of those Four Horsemen, Don Miller and Harry Struldreyer, with us at our event.
I love the shirts that you're wearing, and it honors your grandfather.
This one is my grandfather, right there.
It's been part of kind of our DNA growing up, so to finally be here and to be honored for something like this tonight is really special.
Sounds like you're looking for defenders.
I couldn't find anybody. It was such an honor to play here, such an incredible experience to be a part of this. At a young age, from a kid coming from New Jersey, you really knew nothing about what the University of Notre Dame was. Now all of a sudden you understand it's the greatest place in the world.
And like, I never get invited here if you're not here tonight. So thanks for having me. Joe Theismann.
I get off the plane, Newark, New Jersey. My dad picks me up and says, "What do you think?" I said, "Dad," and you saw it in the video, "Dad, I have to go to Notre Dame." He says, "Why?" I said, "Dad, it just feels right." And since the day I set foot on this campus, it has felt so right.
His question is, if you could go to the Notre Dame archive file and view your most satisfying and impactful personal highlight, what would it be?
It would be throwing a touchdown pass to Tom Gable. I can't thank you enough for this incredible award. I'm humbled and I'm honored, and I thank you so much for sharing it with me this evening. Thank you.
Just a really great event. But, Joe, I had the privilege of presenting you with the Living Legend Award given to players and coaches who've had remarkable achievements on and off the field and in serving the community. You know, you're amongst the likes of Johnny Lujack, Alan Page, Barry Alvarez, who've won this award as well for the Newt Rockne Memorial Society. I have to imagine it was pretty special, maybe even a little surreal for you.
It was surreal. It really was. And you know, when you attach the name Newt Rockne to anything here at the University of Notre Dame, you know it's special. And to be giving a Living Legend Award was beyond comprehension. And the award in itself was a great honor, but Pat Steenberg and the people that spoke, and Ronnie Paulus, and of course, you did a fantastic job last night. And Jim LaFleur, the job he did putting everything together, and the historian that he is, and to learn so much about the Stool Dryer family and all of, you know, the Four Horsemen and the Seven Mules, and that's Notre Dame. That's who we are. That's where it all started. We all have to have roots somewhere, and that's where it was. And so having Newt Rockne's name attached to it just made it even more special for me last night.
Well, it was 100 years of quarterbacks.
That's
I mean,
I didn't feel 100 years old, but I do now, but I didn't necessarily feel that way last night. I thought it was like, okay, here's the 100th quarterback, you 100-year-old guy. No.
What does that mean to be part of such an elite group of not only quarterbacks, but people here at Notre Dame that have taken that role? And to be the quarterback in Notre Dame, you have to be a little bit of a historian, right? I mean, to look back at the history of Notre Dame and say, this is what I have to live up to, and to take it and to make it up to this mountaintop that you took the position to as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, you really try hard not to live up to what has happened in the past because you can't succeed. It's like, I want to be like this, or I want to be like Joe Montana, or I want to be like Joe Theismann. No, you have to set your own standard. Now, we hopefully have created a legacy here that somebody wants to follow. For me, when I came to the University of Notre Dame, I didn't watch Notre Dame on Saturday. I was playing football. That's when we played ball games, so I didn't really get a chance. When you go to this university and you become a part of this quote-unquote legacy, then you really start to appreciate it. As time goes on, you look back at the guys you played ball with, the coaches you played with, the fans you played in front of, the dorms that you lived in because, hey, you know, we didn't have a fraternity, so we all lived together. And it just, that's where you start to think, gosh, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. If I can, I tell the one quick story. When we played in the Hula Bowl in 1971, we flew to Hawaii. I remember getting off the plane, and all the players off from all the different schools got on buses. And way over in the distance, not too far away, there was this clamoring. Everybody banging drums and everything else. It was the Notre Dame Club of Hawaii come to meet me and take me to a luau while everybody else went to a hotel. I mean, there isn't a bed you can't have around the world. There isn't a family that won't take you in, and we are the greatest family in the world when it comes to the university. And to be able to have the opportunity to play football here for a skinny little kid, just like Harry Stool Dryer, you know, 5'7", 110 pounds, or 150 pounds. I was, 5'10" and 150 pounds. So we had a little bit, after the 100 years, we had a little bit in common.
Well, I love that. And of course, the quarterback position at Notre Dame, probably one of the most widely criticized positions in all of college football. You lived it. Right now, Riley Leonard is living it. Yeah. What do you like about Riley, but also where do you feel like he needs to improve to make those improvements for this season and take this team to the next level?
First you have to consider Riley didn't have hardly any work in the offseason because he was healing from the game that we heard him in a year ago when he was at Duke. I think he can be more accurate. That's the big thing. I think it's the little simple passes where people are sort of wide open where I think he can find a little more accuracy. We've seen this over the last couple of games where we've got guys in position and, he doesn't manage to quite get it there. Those are the gimmies. Those are the ones you have to get. Tough runner, he can't keep getting himself beat up. I mean, I stress this with Jaden Daniels in Washington. We've sat down and had conversations. Protect yourself. Don't get yourself beat up. You don't serve anybody if you're in a tub trying to get well. If you're standing on the sidelines and you can't play, you're not doing your team a service. So, be smart with the football. I think he's going to continue to work from an accuracy standpoint because I said he didn't get a lot of work in the offseason. And so now it's a chance to be able to put everything together. And Mike Denbrook, our offensive coordinator, I'm sure is going to have some great stuff for Stanford, and this is a football game that we should win. But you can't, as a player, walk out on that football field and say, okay, well, hey, here's my helmet. Okay, we're just going to do what we want to do. No, go earn it. See, as players, this is the one thing that when I was at Notre Dame and when I was in Washington, we set the standard. We didn't let somebody set the standard for us. We played at a tempo. We moved along, but it was ours. Now, you want to try and catch us, that's fine, but you're not going to be able to. We're just going to roll through you. And so we keep the momentum going, and that's what we're starting to find again here at Notre Dame. We're starting to find that momentum again, where it isn't just play a half or three quarters. It's an entire football game.
Allison said it last night, the it factor. You just have had it throughout your entire life.
I don't know what it is.
We could chat with you for the next hour, 2 hours. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thanks for having me, and thank you to Make-A-Wish for making this happen, too.
Awesome. The great Joe Theismann, everybody, joining us here on ABC57 Kickoff. The Irish are a heavy favorite today, but where should you put your money? When we come back, we take you inside the lines.
But first, where are you cheering on the Irish today? Where are you watching ABC 57 Kickoff? That's the more important question. We'd love to see your game day photos.
Might be from Jersey.
When you post on social media, tag ABC 57, and we may share it on the show.
Can't see.
Well, Stanford is keeping it in the family. Check this out. This is pilot Stephen Blackburn. His son, Benji, is a freshman tight end for the Cardinals. Turns out Stephen is the pilot for the team this week and flew them to South Bend for today's game. How cool is that? Very cool. Also very cool here on Notre Dame's campus. I had to add my coat. You got your scarf.
Well, listen, I've not only been cold here, but in the betting world, Levon, you know I've been frigid like Antarctica when it comes to betting.
I've been cold too. He actually has my scarf on. I'm adding layers every week that I continue to be cold in the betting world. I'm gonna let Vahid rock the scarf. That's Calvin Klein. That's nice. So keep that on. I've been cold, guys. It's been a struggle for real. You know, we have we watched this team continue to struggle at home against the spread. Again, today they're 20-plus point favorites, 22 and a half
touchdown favorites.
Over 3 touchdown favorites. Over 45 and a half is the over-under for this game. So listen, until we find success, we will continue to add layers. I might add the ski mask next time we're here at home against Florida State.
It might be warranted. It'll be that cold.
It might be. It might be. But listen, I can't blame this on myself or Tim Murray, but Vegas Sports and information out there in the city of sin. Let's see what what Tim has to say about this week's game.
So far, very small sample size, but off of bye weeks, Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame have done very, very well. 2021, BYU came out to Las Vegas, won that game, covered. You look at last year, won both games off of their bye and covered with ease against Pittsburgh and Wake Forest. So Notre Dame has been in these spots before, and they have actually played pretty well. But I think if I had to make a play, as much as I don't like laying it with big favorites, anything under 24 would probably be the way that I would go here, knowing Notre Dame will have the rest advantage taking on Stanford.
So Tim is taking Notre Dame to cover the spread. And again, listen, the Irish have not been great at home this season. They only covered the spread once this season. That was against Louisville 2 weeks ago. So a more interesting stat, though, is that since 2016, when Notre Dame faces Stanford, they are 4-3 against the spread. Ooh. But wait, there is more. As the great commercial says, the Irish are 1-2 against the spread this season. Again, against Stanford. Since 2016 against Stanford when playing at Notre Dame Stadium. So not a great track record for the Irish. That being said, I'm not touching the spread. Okay. I'm not going to touch it, even though the argument of coming off the bye week is very compelling. But if you'd like to take that spread bet against Notre Dame, take it as a single bet. But guys, I got Levon's parlay here, and we got a new sign because I've had a little bit of an upgrade. Got a football field. You got the lines on here and all that stuff. So Levon's parlay at plus 184. Stanford over 10.5 points, and then a total of over 45 points in this matchup. Notre Dame averages 8 points per quarter this season, 6 points per quarter when they're here at home. I think that increases coming off the bye week, and they win. But listen, maybe they're going to win by 2. Yeah, it's two-sided. So here's the other part of the Levon's parlay. Listen, Stanford over 10.5, the over 45.5 points. But if you want to get a little fancy with the parlay, you can add Jeremiah Love touchdown and Riley Leonard touchdown in his rushing yards, and they get you plus 541. That's if you want to get risky, okay? I ain't been winning, so I ain't doing it. I'm going to just take the 10.5 over 45.5.
If I keep listening to Levon's parlay, I'm going to be in an igloo next week. So,
look, go to Cash Advance, get you some money out, and you got to last. You got 6 more games to go.
Oh, man, it's going to be a long one. Levon's parlay, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, teammates, best friends, and now business partners, a group of former Notre Dame linemen are back in the Bend. How they are hoping to build their golden legacy coming up next.
It was a collective agreement between all of our teammates that there's something more here than just our game of football, just our schooling that we got.
Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff as we count you down to Notre Dame versus Stanford. A few weeks ago, we had Irish legend Manti Te'o on and the head of the Fitzgerald Institute of Real Estate, Mike O'Malley, on the growing popularity of real estate at Notre Dame. In fact, it's the fastest growing minor with more than 500 students enrolled.
Yes, very interesting. And former offensive linemen Josh Lugg, Tommy Kramer, and Cole Mabry took those real estate classes when they were students here at Notre Dame. And now the former teammates have returned to South Bend for a new partnership, a business venture, if you will, that all started inside the Notre Dame locker room.
As offensive linemen, we stuck together. It was our family while we were here. Everything about it called us back.
For former Notre Dame football players Josh Lugg, Tommy Kramer, and Cole Mabry, South Bend is no longer just their college town.
Move kind of clockwise so you can see what we're doing from a landscaping perspective.
It's home.
It was a collective agreement between all of our teammates that there's something more here than just our game of football, just our schooling that we got.
The three former teammates and friends have returned to South Bend for a new venture, Golden Legacy Partners, a full-service boutique real estate investment, brokerage, and management team.
We had a lot of locker room conversations where we decided that this was an opportunity for us to invest private capital back into South Bend, be a part of the revitalization of this town from an old Rust Belt city to a place people want to live post-grad, right?
Their goal is to show other Notre Dame grads the value of putting down roots in South Bend.
Getting rid of that brain drain theory that everyone hears of, well, people come to Notre Dame, but then they leave and they go elsewhere. It's, no, we're going to come back here. We want to be active members of the community, great neighbors.
And a fourth teammate, Liam Eichenberg, helps from afar.
He's the Miami Dolphins right guard. But Liam's actively involved in everything that we do, and we have a lot of other NFL guys that are investing passively through us into the real estate deals we're doing.
They all played on the offensive line together at various times over the course of 2016 through 2022.
I think we had the tightest position group. We hung out with each other, we lived with each other, and just we never went somewhere that another O-lineman wasn't.
That was one of the biggest selling points. Josh, Cole, Liam, all these guys were my best friends through college, and to create something together, that's what we all dreamed of.
Their dream of Golden Legacy taking shape in the shadow of the Golden Dome.
And we were all in similar classes, and we all had, landlords that we thought charged way too much. We're like, how can we be that one day? So those conversations started, as early as freshman and sophomore year, and they really did carry into NFL locker room.
They have several properties throughout Michiana, from rental homes to upscale condos, including Irish Crossings and Irish Quarter, a project with former Notre Dame basketball star and NBA champion Pat Connaughton. They've also taken on a major renovation project of the old Residence Inn Hotel on Niles Avenue.
We're at Harder Heights Place, formerly known as Vivo Living South Bend. It's an 80-unit apartment complex tucked in between South Bend and Notre Dame's campus. It's really, really cool spot, tucked in the trees, but alongside the river, the dog park, the East Race. That's really popular for residents around this town.
How important is it for you to get feedback from the tenants and to hear from them and know what it is they need?
That's the most important piece of data we can collect. It's like, hey, what do you like here? What do you not like? It's just kind of like living in your house. What do you like about your house? What do you not? What do you want to change about your house? And then hopefully we can give them a change that brings value to them that maybe they didn't get before or they don't have at other properties.
We're hoping to prove that an affordable product doesn't have to sacrifice a luxury outcome.
And even through the renovations, Golden Legacy is keeping it local.
We've asked a lot of the tenants here that have landscaping companies, snow plowing companies, to get us bids. And because if it makes sense for us and it makes sense for them, they live here, they're going to be more proud of their work, and they're just going to, at the end of the day, drive better value for the community as a whole.
They're more invested.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it is business. But for these former players, it always comes back to the brotherhood they created at Notre Dame.
Keeps the intensity that we had with football. We took a lot of pride in protecting one another on the football field, and that's no different here in the office space, especially when we have other meetings with outside competitors. We have a protective instinct over each other.
It's like when, the 5 starters are on the field, they have different personalities, but you work so much with each other that everything just becomes in sync, which I feel like has been a big reason for our success so far.
Their company is not just a stepping stone.
Our partners in the company live in Elkhart, Roseland, South Bend, Granger.
These teammates, these brothers, are building their golden legacy.
We're here, and we want to invest here. We want to be here for a long time.
And you know, the cool part about this also is that these guys are also building their families here. Josh is engaged. His fiance, Brittany, is a St. Mary's graduate. And Tommy and his wife, Sabrina, are expecting their first child in January.
So awesome to see them come back and give back to this community that's been growing for a lot of years, and it's going to grow exponentially here in the next few as well. Speaking of Josh Lugg, he joins us live on set next as we talk about the Irish offensive line and more. ABC 57 Kickoff will be back after this quick break.
A rivalry that goes back almost 100 years. Notre Dame taking on Stanford today, the battle for the Legends Trophy. The last time the Cardinal came to town as huge underdogs, they left with the victory. Those tailgaters, though, they're ready for this. They're not going to let the Cardinal come in here and get the job done.
Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. The tailgaters have nothing to do with it. The guys on the field are going to get it done today. I believe that.
All right. Well, a guy on the field that got a lot done when he was here. We're joined now by offensive lineman Josh Lugg. Before the break, we showed just a great story on your boutique real estate investment brokerage and management company, Golden Legacy, that you run along with your former teammates Tommy Kramer, Cole Mabry, and Liam Eichenberg. Liam still playing in the NFL for the Miami Dolphins right now, which is very cool. But for you and Tommy, this is now life after football. You had an opportunity with the Chicago Bears, and Tommy was with the Saints and the Lions. Kind of take us through that transition of going from football and the college and the NFL and then now into the real world, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I'm happy to be here representing Golden Legacy, but we are such a family and community. I'm here because of the rest of our team. Notre Dame positioned us to have this success. It didn't guarantee it, but it put us in the right trajectory to do it. And whether that was transitioning from high school to college, college to NFL, NFL to now this real world, we say it in the office all the time. It's like this real world we were already doing at Notre Dame. It challenged us academically. It encouraged us to meet with great investors that now we're very close friends with our company. We were already doing some real world stuff while getting a great education and playing football at the highest level. And so that transition was, for us, pretty smooth.
Well, and one of the things that stood out to us especially while working on this story with you guys and kind of following you around and taking that tour, was just the genuine comfort level and the relationship and the friendship that you three have and the comfort level you have with each other. I mean, that has to go miles and miles to starting a business with your closest friends and really having success in that business.
Absolutely. It's authentic, what we have. Our culture and our standards for our company, even though our company's 20 months old, our culture was set in 2017, 2018, 2019. Leaders like Coach Eastan that instilled in us the processes that we had to go through to have success as a businessman, right? And so for us, as a startup, we didn't have the cultural issues to figure out. It was, how do we apply our real estate knowledge we learned from Notre Dame and utilize the resources to have success?
I like that you guys kind of all have different personalities, too, within the company. You're kind of the face, the talker of the group. How about Tommy and Cole?
Tommy and Cole are great. We're all each other's devil's advocate, which is really important when you're doing this type of business, right? If we were all the same thinkers, we're not really going to get anything done. We might steer away from what our real goals and visions are. Adding Cole into the mix, too, I mean, he has the commercial real estate experience out of Nashville and Louisiana. Bringing him in and having him teach us, like, hey, what's goal planning look like at a corporate level for our startup company? It's really helped us accelerate.
That's awesome. And, we have to know before we go any further, because this picture, I was doing some digging, to get some pictures of you guys. What is this picture all about? What is going on here with you and Liam and Cole here and your taxidermy animals?
Yeah, offensive linemen, we're not known for being super into the media, especially picture day. And for this one shoot, it was your lifestyle shoot. What do you like doing in your free time? And for Cole, Liam, and I, and now Tommy, we love hunting. We love doing backyard fires after games rather than going out to bars. So for us, it was like we had a bunch of taxidermy in the house. Yeah. We go to Arkansas every year and do duck hunts together and goose hunts. That was really just us expressing of like, hey, outside of football, we like being blue collar hunters.
Well, we had a side bet and prop bet at work that three of your households is the picture framed and up.
Every single one of our houses has the picture that my mom printed out and put on a nice poster board for us.
That's awesome. Well, you were able to take advantage of that COVID year, so you played 6 seasons for the Irish. Let's take a look at some of your stats when you were on the field. You were a part of a line that gave up 0 sacks in every season you played except for the 2021 season. Take us back a little. Remind folks who was on that line with you during that time. You guys were so good.
Oh, man, we had some unbelievable guys that have come through this program, and coached by Coach Eastan, Coach Reese, just great figures for us to follow and show how we play ball at Notre Dame on the field, right? So Mike McGlinchey, Hunter Bivin, and Quentin Nelson, those were fifth-year guys when I came in as a freshman. And then when I was leaving, Joe Alt was here, Blake Fisher was here, and think about everybody else that was in the middle. And it was this Notre Dame O-line. We stuck together. Our biggest thing was seeing things through one set of eyes. Every day is we're going to have troubles. And that's the same thing with this real estate. There's going to be days you have trouble. But if you stick together, you're not complaining, you're doing what's right, first opportunity role, you're going to get things done.
We are almost out of time. Just a quick one if you can. And I don't know how honest and open you can actually be, but looking at this offensive line this year, they've obviously had some injuries and moving guys around. You were moved around when you were a player. Where would you assess the O-line right now, and are they heading in the right direction?
They absolutely are. You can see their communication. I can even hear it from the stands often, where I'm hearing them yell, game, 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 go, go, go. And that's what you love to hear as a former offensive lineman. You have the communication, the building blocks then take off from there. And with the injuries, every guy's prepared to be the next man in. Tosh has played both sides. Emil's played both sides. Pat, Rocco, and Billy, and Pendleton, they've played at all 3 interior positions. They can do it all. And so for them, it's just communication and being one.
Love it.
Awesome. And stick around, because coming up, we're going to have you and the legend Mike Golick maybe go one-on-one here and show us a thing or two about playing line and give us some inside knowledge.
All righty. Sounds good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, he lost his cool, and it cost the Irish 15 yards. How Coach Freeman used the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Jordan Clark as a teaching opportunity. Next.
It's tough. Sometimes people test your manhood, but you still have to be able to put team before me.
with the same rich tradition of the Irish.
Wake up the echoes cheering your name.
Send the volley cheer on high.
Shake down the thunder from the sky.
What though the odds be great or small?
Old Notre Dame will win overall. While her loyal sons and daughters
march on a victory.
It's Tim Brown, Heisman Trophy winner, and you're watching ABC 57 Kickoff.
You're watching ABC 57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Oh, welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Allison Hayes.
Vahid Sadrazadeh. Surprisingly a bit chilly here this morning as we get going. The 11th-ranked Irish are in position to make the new extended college football playoffs.
We'll see. The Notre Dame defense has been one of the best in the country through the first 5 games, allowing only 12 points per game. In fact, in just about every important metric, the Irish D is in the top 15. Opponent points per game, yards per game. But against Louisville, safety Jordan Clark did let his emotions get the best of him and was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I can't cost my team 15. Looking back on it, I wish I had handled it a different way. I never want to contribute to our effort in a negative way as far as winning a football game.
Clark says Louisville receiver Chris Bell spit on him, and that's why he headbutted the guy. He also said he explained to Coach Freeman, but apparently the officials didn't see it. A definite teaching moment for Marcus Freeman and the Irish, and there have been a few of them this season. In this week's Freeman's Focus, how the head coach used that opportunity to remind Clark and the entire team of one of the oldest lessons in sports. There is no I in team.
After the play,
You got to put
unsportsmanlike conduct,
team glory
defense number 1.
in front of yourself.
His first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
In a short tenure as head coach of the Irish, Marcus Freeman has preached mistake-free football wins games.
That was my message to the entire team and to Jordan, like, as you move forward in life, there's going to be times, this is bigger than the game of football.
Speaking specifically of the 15-yard retaliation penalty.
Absolutely no reason to do that.
Defensive back Jordan Clark received after he said a Louisville wide receiver spit in his face during Notre Dame's victory over the Cardinals.
It's tough. Sometimes people test your manhood, but you still have to be able to put team before me. Nobody's worth 15 yards. We're all innate selfish people, but in that moment, and there's moments in every game that you have to put your team before yourself. He owned it, as I said, like Adon did the week before. You owned it, but we got to continue to learn from it.
3 separate times this season, the Irish have had learning moments like that. Bo Collins in the season opener at Texas A&M, the aforementioned Adon Schuler on the sidelines versus Miami, Ohio, and the most recent penalty on Clark.
Jordan Clark is too good a football player to do that, really hurting his team right there.
You're going to have to let some things go because of what can happen in that situation, right? It's not going to be the outcome that you want.
A 15-yard penalty, player ejection, a season-crippling loss. All negative outcomes the Irish don't need or can ill afford.
Football is just a reflection of life.
In an already challenging fall, where the Irish squandered a potential undefeated season, and with a college football playoff berth at stake, this learning moment speaks volumes to not only the life lessons Freeman hopes these players will live by, but to let the past be simply that, and to focus on the present.
In times, you're going to have to let some things go and put maybe the greater good of your family, your kids, your wife, in front of yourself, because what you don't want to do is make a decision that's going to negatively impact a lot of people.
Well, listen, say what you want, but I truly believe this was a hallmark Marcus Freeman moment. When you're the head coach of the Irish, like it or not, you're going to be compared to the all-time greats. Yes, Lou Holtz won a championship. But we look back at his time, Allison, at Notre Dame, and remember, he was a great motivator and ultimately lifelong mentor to these players And we saw that this week to Freeman. He opened up emotionally, and that type of lasting impact can have on this program and these players is immeasurable, so I love to see that from him.
Absolutely. Nice job putting that together, by the way. Now, the man, the myth, the legend. One of our favorites, Mike Golick, is in the house, and we're going to talk some football and, of course, have a little bit of fun. Look at that, just two former Notre Dame football players, two NFL football players just hanging out, waiting for their chance to come on. ABC 57 Kickoff. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, we are joined now by one of our all-time favorites, a kind of a regular here for us on the show.
Like that.
Broadcasting legend, Notre Dame legend, NFL, you name it, he's done it. Mike Golick, thank you once again for joining us on Kickoff.
My pleasure. I always love coming to this. This is a good one because I know we're always going to do something I'm going to beat one of you at.
That's true. Yeah. That is 100% true.
I've gotten the light part of that, okay? Like, we all
Normally
know the record against Allison over the years.
I show no mercy.
You definitely do not. Well, you since we last had you on for the spring game, you've been very, very busy. The Gojo and Golick show that you do with your son, Mike Jr. Just now it's on TV as well.
Yep, TV, some radio. We've been pretty active every morning, 8 to 10. So I'm not getting up at the crack of dawn, but do that and do Sunday night football, NFL for Westwood One Radio. So trying to keep my hand in it a little bit.
Well, the Irish have been banged up on not only the offensive line, but the defensive line. This season, another the replacement starter. He's out for the season with the torn ACL. I mean, where do the Irish turn to now to get pressure on the quarterback?
Well, I mean, you think about the pressure they've gotten. They've gotten 12 sacks, but it's been divided amongst 10 people. So there's more than just one or two, though Boubacar Traore, he's gotten the 3, and he's out for the year, obviously. So, but he has 3 of the 12. It's just going to be a next man up kind of a rotation mentality. Al Golden trying to get the matchups he wants, where you bring 5, but you try and confuse the O-line so you get a free rusher. So I don't think it'll be one person specifically that'll pick up the slack. I think it'll be a mixture of rotating players and how Al Golden will call the defense to get the matchups he wants.
maybe as a defensive-minded player, kind of take a look at Riley Leonard. His passing game, to say the least, has left a lot to be desired. But where do you see from this offense where it's headed, but also Mike Denbrock and his play calling so far?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a young O-line and an experienced O-line that has gotten to grow together, even though they've had some injuries as well. It's a running team, make no mistake about it, even with the quarterback in design runs to the quarterback. A lot of it is on Mike Denbrock on how you call the plays. Now, Riley Leonard has had his best couple of passing games the last couple of games. Has 3 touchdowns. He's had no touchdowns before the last 2 games. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's throwing the ball a little better. It's how Mike Denbrock mixes up the run and the pass. Obviously, they're going to run the ball, though Stanford's pretty good against the run to help set up play action.
Well, I'm going to die on a hill on this year. I truly believe that Notre Dame defense is one of the best in the country, to be honest, and I think they can keep up with anybody on the defensive side of the ball. Now, the injuries hurt.
Yeah.
Are they missing a couple pieces? I mean, when we look at Alabama and we look at, some of the best in the nation, Ohio State, Georgia, what are the Irish missing if we see them getting into the playoffs? Can they keep pace?
Well, I think it's a passing game. It's a high-scoring passing game, right? If Notre Dame gets down by a couple of scores and has to throw themselves back into a game, that may be a problem because it's not really a passing offense. Now, we haven't really been in that position to have to pass for a quarter or for a half, so maybe it would be better, but it hasn't shown itself. And though, again, Riley has gotten better the last couple of weeks, that would be the part of the team depending on the score and depending on if you have to get back into it throwing the ball.
Now, this is a game, of course, that Notre Dame, in theory, should dominate.
Yes.
They should get it done here today. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, I mean, listen, Notre Dame, again, is a running offense. Stanford's pretty good against the run, giving up just 88 yards on the ground. They give up a lot in the air. So this could be a chance for Riley to have another good passing game as well. And Stanford, they like to run the ball. Ashton Daniels, their quarterback, is the leading rusher as well, again, with designed quarterback runs. So the rush defense for the Irish will have to be pretty stout.
Well, let's bring in Mr. Josh Lugg here, who played offensive line. You played defensive line. So this is what we're going to do here today,
Don't
gentlemen.
make it anything where I'm doing anything physical. Look at him and look at me. I mean, come on.
So take us through the process here of matching up the offensive line against the defensive line. Take us through a defensive line stance, an offensive line stance. Give us a little breakdown of what Notre Dame's going to be facing today on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, God. Well,
right.
listen.
6'6", 6'4".
Listen, the object for a defensive lineman, as Josh should know, is you don't trade one for one.
Yeah.
All right, so whether he's coming off on – here, hold that for a second.
Yeah, sure.
He's coming off on me. I have to get my hands and keep him away from me to be able to get off a block. If I don't get off a block, I've traded one for one. The offense wins. So the main thing for the defensive line and linebackers is to get off blocks, and certainly the O-line wants to stick on the block.
So you can have your hands on his jersey, but you cannot push up on his jersey to try and keep him out.
The way we talk about it is we want to hit with our pads. Pads first, hands follow. That's how Coach Easton taught us. It's how Coach Easton made Mike's son awesome offensive lineman. There was a standard and technique that we played with.
Let's see it.
One of that is, we go easy, but you got to make sure you have low pad level, right? And once your shoulder pad's in there, you're accelerating on contact to finish the block, right? It's not about torquing and twisting. It's about accelerating on contact. You'll see that from the offensive line today. Them moving their feet. And it's like you're a 10-yard sprint through a defensive lineman.
Yeah, they want to get movement this way, and as a D lineman, you want to make penetration that way and have the back go east and west instead of north and south.
So for you as a defensive lineman, is it important to use your hands?
I can't let him, like he said, get his shoulder into me. I have to keep my hands out. I have to keep him away from me. He gets into me, I'm not getting off that block. I have to be able to control the inside chest plate and to be able to get off the block. If I don't do that, if my hands are on the outside or he gets his hands on the inside, I'm done.
I mean, why is Notre Dame just over the years so good at that? Like, why? I mean, through the 90s and 2000, why is the offensive line so good at that?
The reason is we prepare for the best player that we could face, right? It's as an offensive lineman, when you practice, you're doing 10-yard challenge drill to start practice. The hardest thing you can possibly do, you are drilling that so that when you have an opponent that's either really, really good at the top of his class or maybe not so good, you're treating the block as the same, and that approach every day in practice allows you to
They
success.
do everything, and that has to be the most in-step group on the field, offense or defense. The 5 have to step as one, and they do it over and over and over and over again.
Where you guys would be equal is throwing the ball as quarterback. So let's
We're
give
putting
it
you
one
on the
try
spot now.
here. Everybody on set has to do it today. A defensive lineman as quarterback here. I love it.
Oh!
Mike, just a little bit short. We'll give you one more try.
In the jewels.
No, go ahead.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, wait,
Josh?
see, we brought Josh in so he could get a beating instead of me today.
One and done
First
for
try.
Mr.
Wow.
Nailed it.
He got it on the
Love
first
it.
try. Wow, that was really good.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. That was a lot of fun. We really appreciate
I'm glad
it.
he didn't really hit me. That would have been bad.
Man, I'm glad I didn't play offensive line anywhere, or defensive line for that matter. We're going to be right back here on ABC 57 Kickoff. Guys, thank you so much.
You got it.
All right.
Meteorologist Dave Caulfield live from the tailgate lots, where the weather has really improved over the course of this show. With the wind not really all that bad, the sun higher up in the sky, it feels nice out here with temperatures getting close to the 60s. And as we take a look at the game day forecast later on today, there will be a chance of showers, and they have stayed mainly to our east. But we should be dry throughout the game, and those showers wait until after the game between Notre Dame and Stanford is over to start to make their way into Michiana and specifically South Bend. Highs right around the low 70s, and that breeze, while it will be noticeable, won't be all that bad later this afternoon. Live in the tailgate lots, meteorologist Dave Caulfield for ABC 57 Kickoff.
A rivalry reignited in the house that Rockne built. 11th ranked Fighting Irish facing off against the Stanford Cardinal. 3:30 kickoff today. Notre Dame favored by 23 points. The over-under 45 for today's game.
Yeah, and we like to have a little bit of fun with some prop bets, get to mix it up a little bit. Notre Dame has been outstanding against or on their own ground attack, but Stanford is actually very good defensively against the run. Notre Dame is averaging 214 yards rushing per game, but Stanford allowing just 88 yards. So my first question to everyone is, can the Irish get it done on the ground today? How many rushing yards can they get? Do you think they go over 200?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to say 260 rushing yards, Jeremiah Love, Riley Leonard, and then Jadarian Price is out for revenge after getting benched for that fumble against Louisville.
We must have been in the same pre-meeting. 260 yards for me on the ground for the Irish. I think over 100 yards for their quarterback, Riley Leonard, today.
That was my next question.
And I think
definitely.
the rest is split up between the running backs. But I think Riley Leonard's going to lead the attack today.
I got him at 220. I think they're going to go just over their average. What do you think? Do you think Riley Leonard goes over 100?
I don't.
I don't either.
I believe that Stanford puts a stop to that as much as they can. But I do think he'll see the end zone through the run game.
Now, turnovers has definitely been something that the Irish have capitalized on all season. Last year at Stanford, despite 4 turnovers, the Irish did get that win. We all know what happened in the start of that Louisville game here last week. So when the Irish fumbled that kickoff, who's going to win the turnover battle today, Stanford or Notre Dame? And how? How are they going to do it?
I think Notre Dame wins it. I think there's 2 interceptions of what Notre Dame will come out with in terms of the turnover battle. And I think our guy who had a little incident 2 weeks ago, Jordan Clark, he's going to be one of those guys to get an interception.
I like it.
Right. Again, we were in the same pre-meeting. I have 2 interceptions as well. Also a fumble. I think the Notre Dame quarterback coughs it up once here in this game, but I think Xavier Watson, Benjamin Morrison are the guys to get the INTs today.
All right. And, our final predictions. I think we need to bring in some experts over here. We're going to bring in, Josh, I'm going to give you a mic.
Perfect.
All right, so final predictions today. What do we got for final score predictions?
I've got 38-10 Notre Dame,
Sweet.
400 yards rushing, 5 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Whoa.
400 yards?
Spoken like a true offensive lineman. Wow. I'm going 31-14 Notre Dame.
Awesome. I have 33-6. I don't think Stanford scores a touchdown today. The Notre Dame defense showing up, and I'm taking you on that parlay. I'm taking the points.
38-17 Notre Dame. They hit the over. Notre Dame's going to walk out here with their 5th win of the season.
I'm a little more conservative. I'm saying 34-10. I do think Stanford gets a touchdown in, but I think Notre Dame should handle it in all phases of the game. All right, guys, we're wrapping it up. I want to see these 2 guys throwing some touchdowns.
Excuse me.
That'll do it. Oh, he's a cheater. Thanks for watching. Go Irish.